do you think of Garoppolo? Because I think in this game, the last couple games, Shanahan's done two good things. He's gotten Garoppolo into a rhythm, which he was sorely lacking in Denver. And not only that, I think they've got their recipe for how they're going to win games, Vish, which is don't turn it over and lean on this killer D.
It's been the recipe, right? I think they're 19-2 in the Jimmy Garoppolo era when he doesn't turn it over. Although I'm skeptical, I'll actually give you the right stats. Someone sent it to me this morning. I'm not even sure if it's 9-2 to be 19-2 to be honest, because I can't remember 21 games where Jimmy Garoppolo did not turn the football over.
Right, right.
But it's 18-2 since 2019 when he doesn't throw a pick. But so it's always
He doesn't
been
throw
that
a pick. He
formula.
could have a fumble, but he doesn't throw a
Right,
pick.
he could have a fumble.
Yeah.
It's always been that formula with Garoppolo. I thought he played okay versus the Rams. I thought it was a real positive bounce back given how bad Denver was, though. And then I thought he was excellent versus Carolina, especially by his standards. Carolina, here's some of the things that I thought was underrated about his performance against Carolina, right? Carolina brings a lot of pressure. They went zero coverage a few times. Twice against zero coverage, he did a real good job standing tall and tough, which he always does. But then also, he didn't go hot either time. The hot read on the play wasn't really available, and he was able to get backside and throw a really great ball on 2 1-on-1s. One, Tevin Coleman made a great catch. One, Brandon Ayuk dropped. But it was two great plays, two plays we're not accustomed to seeing. And I thought throughout the game, whatever you want to say about Garoppolo, he's always, or whatever you want to say about Carolina's defense, excuse me, schematically, they bring a lot of pressure, and Phil Snow brings pressure in a lot of different ways. So really with Garoppolo in this game, he had to have his answers versus pressure when it comes, where it's coming from, and know where to go with the ball. And it's something that I've gotten frustrated with watching him where, like, you're a guy 6 years in an offense. You should have seen that your offense, a lot of these plays, you should have run these plays against looks. You should be comfortable with what defenses are going to try to do against your offense. And oftentimes he feels oblivious to it. I thought there was a real maturity to his play in the sense that when his back foot hit the ground, it felt like he understood where the defense was coming from, who was coming, and immediately where he needed to go with the ball, which is not something I feel like I've been able to say. And then right now, this is the last 2 weeks, he's throwing the ball pretty great. He's hitting the bullseye a lot. He's making some really, really great throws, like throws where he's throwing people open with anticipation over the middle. He's throwing into tight windows. So he's playing really well, and he's dealing with people around him. The only reason I'm a little skeptical is because I think the volatility, and I use the word volatility with Garoppolo's play, he's kind of consistent game to game in terms of what you get, but play to play within games, he's kind of inconsistent, right? 3rd and 9, you get a free rusher on him. He'll stand in with 2 guys around him and flick a ball just all arm out into a tight window and rip it and convert a first down. But then, 1st and 10, you got this play action, schemed up shot play, and the guy's wide open. He might miss it or he might make a dumb decision. So he's kind of like all over the place in terms of like whether he's this mature veteran quarterback or he isn't. But Larry, what's really got me worried about this game is in Jimmy Garoppolo's career as a 49er, here's a statistic for you, okay? He has, in games where he has finished the first game and he's also finished the second game, which means back-to-back games, prior to these last 2 weeks against Carolina and the Rams, he had only had a game where he did not throw an interception in back-to-back games twice. Now, he did it 4 times, but the other 4 times, one game was against the Jets, which he only played the first half, the second game in 2020, and he got hurt. And then the other game was, of course, after the Detroit debacle that they somehow won thanks to the pass interference call in 2018 against Kendrick Bourne, or not against the Lions on Kendrick Bourne, which then allowed the Niners to, save that game, which at one point it looked like they were going to blow. And he then got hurt the next week against Kansas City. So even though he threw a pick, I didn't really count it. So that means only 3 times in his career is he not throwing a pick in back-to-back games. He has never gone 3 games in a row without throwing an interception. I don't say this to say he isn't playing well and that the Niners shouldn't be, feeling very good about where they are. I just need to see a little bit more before I get real excited, because right now I am excited with how he's playing, but I just have a past with him, and I need to see something beyond this and a level of consistency to change really how I look at him.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's luck, but I mean, let's be honest. He will put the 50-50 ball out there and trust his guys. And if
Mm-hmm.
his guys come up big for him, like Tevin did down the field, then it's going to look like a great completion. And there's going to be other times that guy's going to slip down. It's going to be an easy pick.
Right.
Well, but to me, I'd rather have Jimmy in rhythm, operating, the way he's operated the last couple of games, as opposed to and getting rid of the ball quick, 2.5 seconds in that range, as opposed to hold the ball late in the down, float something across the middle in a crowd. I've seen that movie. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't end well. So I like the rhythm he's in right now. He's got a full complement of weapons. I think he's showing more patience to, throw it away if you need to throw it away.